Alrighty, guys, welcome to the QiDao Fireside Chats. We're joined here today by Larry the Cucumber from Pickle Finance. Thanks for being over.
Really happy to be here, Ben. Thanks for inviting me. Excited
Thank you.
to chat more about QiDao, Pickle, and get to know each other a little more.
Yeah, for sure. So for those who don't know, QiDao is a stablecoin protocol on Polygon. We're the first native stablecoin on Polygon. And basically what we do, we allow people to take their tokens and then borrow stablecoins at 0% interest. So you kind of get to use your tokens without actually selling them. But we'll turn here to Larry. Larry, I think it'd be helpful if you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into crypto.
Yeah, for sure. So for those who aren't aware, Pickle Finance started about 8 or 9 months ago, sort of at the peak of the emoji coin hype, following Yam Finance, Sushi. Right. We came about 2 or 3 weeks after Sushi, and maybe Harvest after they started. We initially, funny you mentioned stablecoins. We initially had the objective of stabilizing stablecoins because at the time, DAI was seriously over peg all the time, and we saw a way to make that work for our users or benefit our users by capitalizing on the ARB opportunities. But since they accepted USDC as a collateral, that opportunity went away. But now our main, we're in the business of providing vaults, similar to the ones that Yearn provides, and a lot of our code base is inspired by them. For us, they're called pickle jars, to add our own quirky little spin to it. And yeah, that's us in a nutshell. We've implemented the VE locking model. Some of you may be aware with DIL, which is inspired by Curve's VE CRV, and those who lock for increasing periods of time get more rewards, get boosted rewards, and get a portion of protocol profits. And we're seeing that sort of model pick up as Sushi's starting to explore it with OSushi. And a couple other projects on Phantom and Matic, I'm aware are also strongly considering it.
Yeah, us as well.
Oh, really? That's exciting.
So we had a vote, QIP004, basically to share our revenue with our users. It's going to be, I think, 30% of repayment revenue. And yeah, the devs are thinking about how we can do that. So like the longer you lock it, the more you get, so that we encourage like long-term holding. So yeah, I think that'd be something cool to talk to you all about.
Cool. Yeah. Happy to share notes. Everything we have is open source too. So
perfect.
Feel free to use it if it helps.
Yeah. So have you been in the space for a while, or is this your first project? Could you tell us a little bit more about Larry the Cucumber and his background?
I've been building on Ethereum and specifically Solidity Web3 since about 2017. But they've always sort of been passion projects. Prior to this, I worked in the field of legal tech.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, with the explosion in DeFi, I was able to make this a full-time reality, which has been a dream.
No, yeah, it's a rocket ship, and I think anyone that's thinking about getting on it needs to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I've convinced a couple of my other crypto friends who have great potential in this field to make the leap, to take the plunge, and they've been happy so far too. It's scary for sure. What is your background, Ben?
So my background's in investment banking, which is oddly within finance, DeFi. They're so close together, but they're so far apart. But yeah, Kila told me what La was building and that they needed some help with biz dev and strategy. So I'm helping them out with that stuff.
No,
I've done
absolutely.
some.
There's a big, there's a lot of room for investment banker types
Right.
in crypto. Like, some of the, I'm thinking UMA comes to mind as, they're started by a bunch of ex-Goldman Sachs bankers who just surrounded themselves with good devs, and they're building some pretty powerful products.
Yeah, it's completely different space, I think. Like, I don't think that, Janet Fraser can like email like this Goldman Sachs CEO and ask them on tips on what they're building, right? Like it's a very different
it's open.
Kind
it's
of like,
great.
Yeah, it's much more open.
The collaboration is pretty sweet.
Yeah, competition is, there is competition, right? Like,
Absolutely.
we have competitors, but people are just so willing to help. So I really like that about this space. Yeah, I mean, could you dive a little deeper into why you wanted to build Pickle Finance? So you talked a little bit about what you guys do, where you guys came from, but maybe a little bit more about the ethos behind the project.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, we do, as I suggested, we do much of what Yearn does in helping users, deposit their funds, and then we help them. We assist with their farming so that they don't have to, tend to their rewards, sell them, and reinvest them. We do that process for them. So one, it saves gas, and two, they benefit significantly from the compounding effects of frequent reinvestments. We take a slightly different angle, and if you aren't aware, we're part of the Yearn ecosystem, along with Sushi, Cream,
right,
Acropolis, those other projects, some other great projects. But we don't really, we kind of serve a different niche in that we're a little more, degen, a little more quirky. So like stuff like QiDao, we would absolutely be fair game for us, build on top of. Whereas, Yearn takes a comparatively more conservative approach of, farming really large, stable projects, sort of like Curve, or things of those sort.
Right, like the larger projects. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen. Mm-hmm.
But we see opportunities with, like, growing communities, which so stuff that's been successful for us, and recently have been, Faye,
Right,
another
that's a
stablecoin
huge
project.
stablecoin. Yeah.
Alchemics, we work pretty closely with them. They had a pretty big migration with Sushi recently. We work closely with Sushi. Liquidity, we'd like to do more with.
They're also, very, very cool project.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys soon, because we are making our move to L2, Polygon specifically.
Yeah, I mean, Polygon's on fire, man.
I know it's taking us too long.
It's really kind of like pushing the devs. Come on, let's go.
I am, for now, I'm it's on me to, like, kind of finish up the front end where, the smart contracts are in place. Testing's begun. We just want to be super, safe and confident about our launch, and and make it a good one.
Yeah, you just don't have to worry about putting aside some money for the gas fees, because it's negligible, right? I don't even think about it anymore, which is crazy to think about, right? Just do a transaction,
Yeah, tell me about how things have been going for you. So I minted Mematic, I think, on the first day that you guys went live. I was there for when you guys migrated the pools, and sort of decreased the emissions, and I was like, oh man, I have to, like, take a withdrawal fee, I think. But I'm like, oh, the farming's pretty sweet. I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, we try to keep it low, 0.5, but we need to reimburse people for within voted. Now you don't need to take anything out when you vote, because you're doing cheap power, but it's been going pretty well. I think something that the whole team is very excited about is how awesome our community is. Like, a lot of the recent ideas that we've rolled out have been community suggestions on our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And people will suggest things, and then we'll go back and forth and create new ideas. Without people like make presentations, PowerPoint decks. The other day, I think yesterday, somebody posted an analysis about our partial liquidations and gave some suggestions. So that's been pretty awesome. I don't think we expected it to be this fast. People joining in, really becoming champions. So that's been pretty cool. And
That's
there's a lot
great.
more coming. I think, we're just getting started now that we have the liquidation ducks in a row. A lot of people have been talking about new collaterals, different kinds of tokens, yield-bearing tokens. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up in June for us.
Well, liquidation, I guess it's hard to stress test for you guys because Matic price is a beast. It doesn't go down.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say
just an observation. Whereas every other market on Aave compound gets is 2 weeks ago faced a record number of liquidations. I'm sure you guys were mostly okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was hard, right? Like all these tweets from certain people affecting good projects, but some people were liquidated. But I don't think we were hit as hard as other networks. Matic is so strong. And it's funny you mentioned it's hard to stress test because right now we're changing from full liquidation to partial liquidation. And so we're creating our own vaults to kind of see how we liquidate them. But the Matic price kept going up. So like you can't really liquidate a vault that's the price keeps going up. But sure enough, there was a tweet from someone yesterday, and that allowed us to test the liquidations. Although not that many.
Oh, screw that certain someone.
I know. I just don't understand. Like, there's just so much money coming into Polygon. There's so much innovation happening. We have 3 unicorns.
Really?
Yeah, Sushi. Well, I don't know. It depends on what you call a unicorn, but I mean, Sushi, QuickSwap, and Aave or have above $1 billion in TVL.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, market cap. Yeah, I guess market cap could be another way of calling it, but it's going pretty well for Polygon. Pretty cool team too. Mark Cuban seems to like it. So yeah, happy to start welcoming people this summer as they make the good decision.
Yeah, what was it that? How did Aave put it? It's like L2 DeFi summer or something like that.
Yeah. I've heard DeFi for all, L2 DeFi summer. All that good stuff is coming around, and I really believe it. I think a lot of people are going to start porting over. We've talked to some cool projects. Barnbridge is coming.
Cool.
They have very, very cool like applications. So yeah, I mean, even other people within our own space are going to be coming over. So I'm very excited to see how Polygon progresses this summer.
For sure. So taking a step back, I'm curious about your thought process in switching from the full to partial liquidations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
For sure. So for us, we're not trying to liquidate people, right? Like we don't want to liquidate people. The only reason that we have that there is this scary thing to make sure that people maintain the integrity of the protocol. Right. We want there to always be something backing up.
So that Matic is always over collateralized.
Exactly. But what's happening is there's a lot of people coming into Polygon that maybe this is their first time in DeFi, right? Maybe they're not, they don't have a lot of tokens, right? But they're able to interact here because of the low gas fees, right? So we want to go along those same lines of opening up DeFi to everybody, right? Not just the whales, not just the technically inclined, but really anyone that's interested in being a part of our project. And the way you do that is that you lower the stakes a little bit, right? You don't want to like slap someone in the face for making a small mistake at the beginning of their DeFi, exploration, because that's gonna like burn them. They might be like, you know what, I lost a bunch of money, screw DeFi, I'm not gonna go into it. We don't want that. So this still maintains everything. We still have liquidations. it just standardizes the experience for everybody.
No, totally. I agree.
What did you think about it? Because we posted, I think, like an article on it, talking a little bit about it. How was your reaction to it?
I didn't. I'll admit I didn't look at that article, but I have interacted with different platforms, implementing the different systems. Like MakerDAO is a full liquidation.
Yeah.
Stuff
Well,
like
yeah, they have their own things.
partial ones. It's a smaller project, but Mimo, they do a European pegged stablecoin, which is also over collateralized.
Okay.
It uses partial liquidations, and I've just never been fully aware of like the considerations behind why a protocol would choose one or the other. But so I appreciate you explaining that to me. It's mostly like just down to style. It's just how harshly do you want to punish people?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a lot of other projects that do something like what we do. For example, Aave, they'll just take a cut. They don't take everything. And it works. It's just a matter of, getting our talented developers to getting everything set up so it's safe and it's easy to use. But at the end of the day, like if you can maintain the solvency of your protocol while treating everybody well, why not do it, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. After
so
forming some preliminary thoughts on it now.
Yeah, and that should be like soon. We're just running a bunch of tests, making sure that it's running smoothly. But that should be out soon.
That's exciting to hear.
Yeah.
Can I ask a potentially offensive question? I don't.
Of course, I'm not offended.
Yeah. Are you guys based off of Liquidity's code base, or are you completely novel? Because I know like the structure is similar, right? Where you take deposit and withdrawal fees, or like entry exit fees.
We took a lot of inspiration from different projects. Liquidity was definitely one that we looked at, but there's a lot of projects on L1 that are kind of like us. I don't want to mention all of them, just for like that sake. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be, but I can think of like 3 or 4 that we took inspiration from, if you will, trying to take the best of both worlds. Like, we looked at Maker, we looked at Ichi, but there's some things that they did that we didn't like. So yeah, it was a mix of a bunch of things.
Okay, no, that's really cool to hear that like there was a lot of critical thought into this.
Yeah, we thought about it a lot. We went through a lot of different scenarios that could go wrong, things that we didn't like. And it all revolves around our idea that this should be available to everybody, and that it should be as decentralized as possible, as user managed as possible.
Cool.
Yeah, so kind of wanted to get your thoughts as well on Polygon. So you guys are coming over, making the move. What's your take on it? Why Polygon? Why not, I know, Binance or Phantom or another? Arbitrum now is launching.
Arbitrum for sure sounds really cool. But from our perspective, we have to sort of, as a yield aggregator, we have to follow where the opportunities are.
Right.
Binance is, Binance is a little crowded already with other yield aggregators like, AutoFarm, Beefy, Harvest is there, Bunny.
Yeah, they have a lot of those.
Yeah. So, and I think, and a couple others have already moved to Polygon, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity there. It still feels new, and it feels like we can still capture market share. Especially because others are excited for us to make the move, like Cometh. We've partnered closely with. We've been talking to the Matic team themselves, or Polygon, sorry. And now you guys.
Yeah, and we are always looking to collaborate. So
yeah. How is your relationship with I guess I know Adamant builds on top of you guys.
Yeah,
They do good work. I'm impressed with them. How do you
Yeah.
are you guys close?
So for Adamant, we have like communication between our teams, but it wasn't necessarily a partnership. We're definitely in contact with a lot of the farms like Poly Whale, Polycat, Polybull, all the polys, like a lot of these different, like Monopoly is another one.
Yeah.
Um,
And Monopoly. Oh, that's
yeah, right.
a smart one.
Yeah, I like that too. So yeah, we've been talking to them. Polywolf is coming out soon as well. I know
Yeah.
Polybull, they're doing V2 tomorrow. So,
Mhm.
and they're gonna have a farm for us, so an LP. So yeah, we definitely talk to them a lot because I think it's important to have some kind of like a DApp camaraderie within Polygon.
Yeah, for sure. And the number one goal for a stablecoin project is to get adoption.
Right.
Because you can have the most, hardcore pegged stablecoin, but if it's not used in places, it doesn't, really serve
Right.
its purpose. And you guys are making all the right moves.
Yeah, we're talking to a lot of people soon. I don't know if I should say it yet, but Uniland, we're gonna be on their platform for their launch. I think that's happening. I don't know, maybe this week or next week. So yeah, trying to do as many partnerships, getting Mematic to be in every every nook and cranny of Polygon.
Nice. Hopefully
Um,
Aave.
Yeah, so yeah, hopefully Ave, we had a fireside chat with them. Great people, and they're super open to working with us. I think that as we grow, that's something that we're definitely going to look into. Especially their Aave tokens are very useful, I think, for capital efficiency. So definitely some announcements to come about taking advantage of that. I did want to ask you a little bit about Pickle Finance. So there are a lot of like different poly farms on Polygon. What
Mhm.
makes you guys stand out, I guess, from the crowd? What makes Pickle Finance special? Sorry
Um,
if it's too
no,
poignant of a
no,
question. I
that's
think
a
it would be
completely
interesting.
fair question. And for my completely so I enjoy farming. I was with you guys early, and I've looked into a lot of the other poly projects.
Hmm.
But to me, they're they don't they haven't presented any sort of innovation per se that kind of creates a moat for them. A lot of them appear to be originally pancake forks. A
I
lot of,
can't comment on that.
yeah. So one of the things I think we have going for us is we have a really strong community going in,
Right.
and two, we are going to offer emissions, and I know other projects do that like Adamant. Some of the other yield aggregators, I believe, don't. They just help compound the yield, which is a really valuable service on its own because Urine has over $1 billion in TVL just doing that
Right.
without emissions. But yeah, a lot of it is maybe I'm not best placed to assess the competition because I haven't looked deeply into the other like poly projects.
Hmm.
But yeah, and I guess you can't comment because you guys work together in some.
Yeah, I mean, I work with all of them, but yeah, it
But
definitely seems
I
that
have
you guys are.
and I shouldn't be so quick to dismiss those other projects as lazy forks. I'm sure a lot of them are not, but that's
They
just
look alike, but
sort of the
they're
immediate
very cool
impression I
people.
get when I see something pop up on VFAT and it says Poly X.
Yeah, it's a bit of a meme, but yeah, it's more of like looking into the specific ones. There's some really cool ones, and there's
Yeah,
some
can
not really cool ones.
uh,
um,
tell me about some of the cool ones. I'd love to be educated on that.
yeah, I think like the bigger ones are like Poly Whale. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Of course, yeah.
They're
The
very
krill,
cool
they have the
designs.
krill token.
Yeah, the Krill token. It's run by the One and Mr. Smith. I haven't watched The Matrix, so I have no idea what any of that means. But it's supposed to be kind of revolving around that. We had a fireside chat with them. And Polycat is another big one as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, it is a lot like PancakeSwap, and it is like they're all very similar. But I think where they differentiate themselves is through their business development. I think, and their partnerships. I think Polycat's from Binance. They're in Binance too.
Oh, really?
I know Beefy for sure, right?
Oh,
Beefy came over.
Beefy's huge.
So they bring over their community. Like I'm sure you guys are going to bring over some of that clout with you, which is cool, right? Because not only are you adding to the tools that people can use within Polygon, you might be bringing a lot of L1 people with you, which is helpful for all of us.
That's the intention, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. No. Like the bigger ones, I'm aware have like pretty good biz dev, like the ones you've mentioned, Polycat, Polywhale, Beefy.
Yeah. And also like Polygon, the team is incredible, like with pushing things out.
They
right?
are. They're really supportive.
Incredibly, yeah. Like I mean, they'll like retweet you. They'll put you on their like Twitter page. But aside from that, like the one-on-one kind of questions, like they've answered all sorts of silly questions from me and Kila, and given us a lot of like good advice. So it's good to have kind of like a mix between an awesome community, also having good advisors in the Polygon team. So yeah, a very, very good space to be in. Very positive.
Nice.
So you're on the Pickle team.
Yep.
How many of you are there? And could you talk to us a little bit about what's it like to work at the Pickle Finance team?
Sure, yeah. So there are 7 of us in total.
Okay.
3 of us are. Wait, sorry. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, just 6 right now. 3 are business guys. They handle the product, marketing and comms, operations, and the rest of us, myself included, are developers.
Oh, cool.
My role on the team is sort of I am. So when Pickle started, there were 3 co-founders. I'm the last one remaining. So in that sense, I'm the only founder remaining. So I sort of lead it. The culture is really nice. We are pretty, we're spread across the world, so we work in a pretty asynchronous fashion.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, you guys too?
Yeah, we're everywhere. Lao is like moving around. I don't even know where he is right now.
I was under the impression Lao was like several people.
No, Lao is a person.
Lao is one guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we have access to his like Discord to facilitate like answering things. That's why he's like always answering on Discord. He's not like he doesn't sleep.
That's why I thought it was multiple people.
Yeah, no, but it's definitely a guy, part person, right? So yeah.
How many are you?
So we are in the core team. We have 3 people: Kila, me, and Lao. And then we have 3 developers. Sorry, 2 developers. And then we have 2 part-time mods, and those are just people that are very active.
Right.
Although we are thinking more and more about having maybe perhaps some more full-time people on the communities, because it's growing fast, and I feel like sometimes we spend more on the Discord than on the strategy. So yeah, that's something we're thinking about. How did you guys grow from your initial to, I guess, where you guys are now?
Yeah, so in terms of the team?
Right.
Yeah, so initially it was just the 3 founders doing the lion's share of the work, with a lot of community help, mods, as you mentioned. They are, they're a blessing.
Yeah.
and when it was just me left, we grew the treasury, and were able to hire and pay salaries out of that, to grow to the team we are today.
Awesome. Yeah. And did you pick most of your people up directly from the community?
It's definitely ideal to do that, because you'll get committed members from the start. Some of them were external hires where we made a call, made a posting, tweeted about it, and we've gotten good people that way too.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people in DeFi, but at the same time, it's a small community. Especially if you're a blockchain developer, if you can code Solidity,
you're in super high demand.
Super high demand, very, very high demand. It's almost worth to just get a good developer and train them on Solidity, because it's very hard to find them.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
So you're joining Polygon, you're seeing all these like L2s popping up. What are some trends that are exciting to you that are coming up or have been happening?
Trends in DeFi in general, or in Polygon?
In DeFi in general, or in Polygon, or both?
What trends am I excited about?
Or maybe you could say some challenges that DeFi might be facing. However you want to approach it.
So the whole dark forest aspect of DeFi, front running bots, all that stuff poses a pretty big challenge. I'm pretty excited about like those MEV related projects, like miner extracted value, where through the mempool, there is some information asymmetry that parties benefit off of, which is overall detrimental to DeFi. Certain projects aim to solve that problem, sort of like Rook.
I'm writing all these guys down.
Yeah.
Rook.
That's
okay.
QiDao. That's just one specific thing. There's so many other problems that are getting solved every day. It's hard to keep up with.
Right. No, it's crazy.
Uniswap v3. I'm excited. What's going to come of that with concentrated liquidity, lower slippage, and from our perspective, what farming opportunities might be available on that when they do come. And I think certain projects are already building on top of Uni v3, like Visor. They're pretty, I guess, in anticipation for the farming. So we would, potentially like to collaborate with them.
Well, if you're listening, Visor.
Sorry?
And I'm saying that if they're listening, you got Pickle Finance right here.
Oh, yeah. And on L2, just looking at what have I sort of participated in on L2. The stablecoin projects are obviously very interesting to me. There's you guys. I know Iron has recently moved to Polygon, and they've been doing quite well.
Yes, they're a very cool project. Like Algo, right?
They're different. They're different from yours in that they're only partially collateralized.
Right. Yeah, I think we're solving different problems with a similar product. Well, not a product, but similar outcome as stablecoin. But yeah, very cool. We've been keeping an eye on them. It's interesting to have them here.
Yeah. Do you guys? I guess you guys are considered competitors in
yeah, I mean, we are both stablecoins, but it's weird, right? Because kind of where we're coming from it is, use your tokens without selling them, or for smaller projects, there's a lot of treasury management solutions that are going to come for them when we have more collateral types. So it's kind of different. While they're more algo, they're more like stablecoin for the stablecoin sake, right? But I love having them here because it just proves that this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know there's more gonna come as Polygon keeps growing.
Yeah, you mentioned collateral types. Are you guys looking to accept something other than Matic soon?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely been the roadmap. That's what we want. It's gonna range from those big liquidity guys, like probably ETH, probably. Of course, we're gonna talk to the community, maybe Link, but then also getting some projects that can become like champions for the protocol, right? Because if you're a project, right, you have very volatile token, you can't really use that, or you can, but like not for a lot of things, and that can be very limiting for them. So we are going to look into how we can help those people out as they start to build here on Polygon. But it's not going to all happen at once. It's something that we're planning. Aave tokens, of course, like different kind of yield bearing tokens, so that you're not just having your like your collateral sit there. At least it's doing something for you. Some partnerships going to be announced for that as well.
Oh,
But yeah.
nice. Yeah. That's sort of the approach Abracadabra is taking, where they're using they accept collateral deposits of yield bearing tokens like Wiren vault tokens, and
Right.
you're able to mint their stable coin against it.
Yeah, the thing for example, Aave.
Or Alchemics as a different form of that.
Yeah, I think that's super key. And that's just not only coming from us. A lot of people are telling us we want to be able to get yield on our vaults, but we're not gonna like do stuff with your money, right? Like a lot of people ask us what we do with the vaults. Like we don't do anything with the vaults. It's your vault. And so having strategy for some of that is kind of like not very kosher for us. So being able to deposit these things is going to be kind of the way to go, and doing different partnerships to see how you can compound and make sure that you're maybe even repaying your loan as you're keeping it in the vault. All these kind of cool ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check out Abracadabra. It sounds sort of their site is abracadabra.money.
The money. Okay. Yeah, man. I have a list here.
That's
But yeah, definitely gonna look into that, and we'll try to start teasing a little bit on Twitter so people can start to get an idea once we figure out this whole like liquidation transition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, I want to be respectful of your time. I don't want to take too much time from your day. Is there something that you want to ask the community? Is there a way that you think the QiDao community or the greater Polygon community could maybe help Pickle Finance?
I think at the end of this, you'll probably share our socials, and we would appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
and we'll do the same for you guys. Let our community know about your project. I'm sure a lot already do. But yeah, let's build each other's communities.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be cool. We can talk about it after setting up lines of communications and all that. But yeah, Pickle Finance is at Pickle Finance on Twitter, or you can also follow Larry the Cucumber in Twitter. Yeah, thanks for joining us. So the best way is Twitter, right? If people want to get in touch with you and the Pickle team.
Yeah, and our Discord link is on our Twitter page.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'll put up here the Twitter link so you guys can go there and then click on the Discord link, join their community. But thank you. Yeah, did you have any questions? Any other questions for QiDao?
No, I did not. Thank you so much for this chat, Ben, and for inviting me on. Is this going to be saved so that I can share it with our community?
Yeah, we're gonna save this down, put it on YouTube, and then share it on Facebook. Not Facebook, on Twitter. And the plan is to have some kind of like snips so that people scrolling through can see some things, some highlights from our talk. But yeah, we'll definitely share that with you guys.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for coming over, and thanks everybody for watching.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, everyone.